right, first cast. Oh, there's one. Got one. All right, we're gonna let this guy go. It was cool though. He took all 3 hooks, basically. There he goes. It was like first cast with this blue fox. Did not take more than a few seconds either. That was a fish. Yeah, in the high water, you kind of got to let the current do the work for you. I bet under this bush, there's some fish sitting out in front of it. Oh, there it is. Right as soon as you walked away. It's a small guy. Cool looking though. There he goes. That's 2, and 2 lures lost. There's 3. Oh, lost him. Damn. Just gotta, it's more of a grind in this high water, but you just gotta reel slower, kind of throw it upstream. I'm seeing that's, oh, there's another one. Oh, I lost him again. Damn. Now I'm like 1 for 4. There's obviously a pile of fish right up there. That felt like a fish too. That was a good one. Guess I meant to say I'm 2 for 4. First cast of day 2. All right, we're gonna be trying a blue rooster tail. Oh, I think I'm on. Yes, sir. What? Look at this little guy. He smoked it. Hold up. I'm gonna let this little guy go. We got 1 hook in him, so. There goes. It's fish number 3 of the trip. As soon as I make the lure switch, I catch fish, so might be a good sign, but it's only number 3. All fish have been small so far. Took a little break. Sat by the river. Now I switched lures. Kind of a gold. Sort of looks like a Vibrax sort of thing. We'll see if it works. Fishing's definitely going to be a grind, but we're going to get into some more fish and bigger fish, hopefully. But it certainly won't be as good as it was last year, most likely. Just because when it gets higher, the water is a little faster. Makes it harder to fish, and it makes it harder to find the pockets where the fish are. But there's obviously a bunch of fish out there still. Definitely going to be a grind this week, but we got a lot of time to figure this out. And other spots that we can hit, certainly. There's a lot of spots that we normally hit when the river's lower that we're not going to be able to hit right now. But fortunately, I know some spots where we should catch fish no matter what. We're going to see what happens. All right, guys, we are at a different spot. I'm excited to try this, see if I can get a fish on this lure, and the spot should be pretty unfished, so should be able to get something. Oh, got one. I was just saying, that's a decent one. One of my biggest ones of the trip, which isn't saying much because that's a real tiny one, but pretty one. And that's cool because that's the first ever fish I've caught on this lure, I'm pretty sure. And there he goes, released himself. Number 4 for the trip. We're starting to find fish. It's just a little bit of a grind. But we've hit that spot in front of camp pretty hard, so definitely makes sense that come down to an area that hasn't been fished as much and catch a fish pretty quickly. Oh, that was another fish. See what seam I need to hit, kind of just middle. I felt like another one. Not sure if it was, but it felt like it. Pulled some decent sized trout out of this hole before. Probably gonna move down here in a couple minutes. Sometimes the trout figure you out pretty quick, but there's tons of them in here, so if we just keep working this whole thing, it'll help. The spot I am at right now is only, I don't know, 10 yards below, maybe. But this spot has been a lot better to me in the past. It'll be a little hard to fish with these small trees, but should get something out of here. All right, I'm back. I'm gonna see if there's any more fish in this hole that are willing to bite. If not, we're gonna move down a little further. About 1 or 2 more fishable holes along the stretch. Oh, that's a good one. No! That's a good one. No! That would have been my biggest fish of the trip. That was a nice one. Started pulling hard. That might have been a brook trout. It was hard to see. That was a decent fish. I could tell right away that it was different than every other fish I'd hooked. Or right by the shoreline and see if there's another one out there. Thing jumped out of the water and spit my hook, basically. Probably, it was bare minimum 10 inches. It could have been 11 or 12. It was hard to tell. Probably a feisty 11, give or take. I think it's time to move down. All right, we moved down to a spot that's usually pretty good for me. It should be a solid cast right there. It's definitely harder to fish with the higher water because you have to reel slower and you have to throw your casts differently. I'm hooking most of my fish, throwing it upstream and reeling down versus throwing it down and reeling up. Should be some fish right out by that log. There might be one more spot I can fish along this stretch, and then we'll try one more spot and then probably head up back if those spots aren't very good. But we've caught 2 last night. That was with not a lot of fishing, and 2 this morning with not a lot of fishing, but we fished quite a bit. Definitely normally would have probably 10 plus fish at this point, but it's hard to say. Might have to switch lures too here eventually. Should be a good cast. Oh, that was a hit. 100%. Oh, I just saw one chase it. Small one, but still. I'm just kind of spot hopping, so I'll give it one more cast. See if we can get one really good cast. It's gonna be a little tricky to get it to sink because I'm standing on a log, but should be a good spot. That fish? I don't know what that was. That was something though. If it was a fish, it was a decent one. Could have been a stick. Probably only give this spot like 5 minutes or so. There's one. Oh, dude, that's the biggest one of the trip. Gonna net this one. Ah, where is he? Got him. That's about the size of the one I lost earlier. Dude, that's a pig. Yeah, that's what he looks like. I'm gonna get him back, but that would be a good eating size fish. What in the hell? Front of the hook is, for the top of the hook, it's through its mouth, but the rest of the hooks are out. Got like threaded or something. That's, all right, we're gonna give him a little toss. There he goes. That was a pretty one. Probably 11 or 12 incher, about the size of the one I lost. Probably could have kept that fish because it was a nice healthy fish, but we've got a whole week and a half. Beaut. Finally was able to get that hook out of the net. I think that's one I threw somewhat close to shore, but that was a beautiful fish. Like I said, definitely would have been good eating size, but I was thinking it would be quite the grind to get a fish that size. I mean, really, it kind of was. I think that's fish number 5 for the trip. Obviously, switching to this lure has paid off. 2 biggest fish I've hooked, been on this one. Oh, there's a deer over there. That's crazy. Look at that, right in view of the camera. Such a center for wildlife out here. It's crazy that I even hooked that fish because my lure must have just hit the right pocket. But normally you'd think standing up here it would, see how normally it's like kind of up by the surface. I think I hooked him out in here somewhere, but I think it's fairly deep right in there. That was a beaut though. Kind of wish I was at a better landing spot and a better handling spot, but these fish are tough. Might be the only fish we get out of this hole. If so, I'll take it. I wasn't gonna spend very much time at this spot anyway. And then that fish kind of hit me out of nowhere and I was like, okay, I gotta give it more casts. Kind of let it just flutter out there and see what happens. Oh, there's a fish. That worked. See if we can, pretty little guy though. Looks like he got all 3 hooks. I should be able to get this out though. There he goes. I was hoping I wouldn't have to touch him much because I can't wet my hands from up here, but that strategy worked. We're gonna see if we can do it again. It's down past that tree kinda, which is kind of where I figured I'd get a bite if I did. At least we're getting some good footage today. It wasn't looking great, but we tried other spots that are good. I think the spot near camp was just kind of fished out. I'm gonna cast it down further. See what kind of swinging action we're gonna get here. Should be a lot of fish in that tail out. It's gonna be hard to keep track at some point, but I think that was number 6. We're gonna have to try and throw it closer here. Oh, there's another one. It's another decent one. Damn. A little bigger than the last one actually, but not bigger than the first. Yeah, just throwing it on that far side and letting it flutter now. I've caught 2 fish doing that. Another kind of looks similar to the one I just caught actually. Took all 3 hooks. They're starting to get hungrier, more so than they were yesterday, but it's also probably not as fish down here. There he goes. I'm gonna wash my hands off. That's 3 in this spot. Sweet, I might give it a little longer. Kind of throw it on those edges. We're starting to figure these fish out. Could be harder than years past, but we're making it happen. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're gonna cast kind of out in that area again. There's a shelf out there. I believe there's a bunch of rocks on that far side and there's a weed line. So obviously fish are sitting out there. Would not be surprised if there's some quality sized fish right along this edge too. Really, they're all over the place. They're just sometimes harder to find, but this is one of the better spots to fish when it's high because the current is about right. Up at camp, it's faster. So yeah, that should be number 7. I'm already about losing track. Really, if I'm here for almost 10 days and this is only first full day and I've caught 7, I haven't even been fishing super seriously. Should be able to get at least 50 by the end of this trip. I think I'll make that my goal. Hopefully I can make it into a 2-part video. The more fish I catch, the more that's gonna be likely to happen. There are brookies in here, so I do want to get some of those at some point, but at least we're starting to get bigger fish. But if we do get any decent sized brookies, we're gonna be doing a catch and cook. I'm gonna throw it up a little ways, kind of let it flutter. I think it's time to move down. Might be our last spot and then we might take a break for a while. There was somebody at the spot that I wanted to be at, but I went back up and I'm gonna hit these kind of spots that I skipped. Looks very rocky, so there's definitely gonna be some fish in here. This normally isn't that deep down here, but when the water's high, this spot's better. Probably give every spot like 5-10 minutes, maybe more. And if it doesn't work out, there's a couple other spots I kind of skipped right above me, so it could be better if they're sitting out in deeper water. This spot looks better than the last 2. It's actually right below where we caught those 3 fish, so it's deeper and more shaded. Should be able to get 1 or 2. We're gonna fish a hole that we haven't tried yet above all the other spots that we tried. It's gonna be a little harder, but there should be some in here, some nice ones. Current's a little fast right here, so we might not do too well. But when this is lower, this is a good spot, I believe. Went back to the trailer and took a break for about an hour. Charged up some of my stuff. We're gonna fish this spot in front of camp for a little while. If we don't get anything, we're gonna go walk up to a further spot that we haven't been to yet. Probably won't get this more than 5 or 10 minutes since it's already been fished pretty hard. There we go. Just had to throw it upstream more. That's a decent one. Took all 3 hooks again. Well, he swam off very softly, but he did. Should have had my pliers down here. That would have made it definitely a better release, but did him as gently as we could. That was actually number 8 for the trip. Haven't even been here a full 24 hours, but might be the only fish I get out of the spot right now. Probably give it a few more minutes and then move up a ways. Oh, there we go. This is my second biggest fish of the trip. That's another nice fish. This might be close to the biggest one. Oh, there we go. Oh, what? That was a fish. Oh, that's a decent fish. There's a deer running up the hill. It might be the same deer I saw down there.